Hello, everyone. This is Caleb Warnock, and I'm really hoping that the audio is a little better on this video today because I have built a new little um, filming studio and I've put up foam, acoustic foam. So I'm hoping we'll see. Cross your fingers for me, will you please? I was sitting, it's almost Thanksgiving, and about a month ago, we used this pumpkin on this channel to make orange paint. And earlier we had used marigolds to make orange paint, and I painted pumpkins with them. I thought, well, before I let the horse have this pumpkin to eat, I should probably try doing pumpkins with, look, I'm filming upside down. You guys know I'm always filming upside down. Doing pumpkins with actual pumpkin. So to start that process, and I was trying to freehand a pumpkin here, and I was just terrible. It was awful. So I went to the internet and I pulled up a couple little pumpkins, and I have here um, some carbon paper, and I thought, you know what? I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I can, since apparently I cannot draw a pumpkin today, my hands are just shaky as all heck. That's just a thing in my life. Okay, so I'm using this carbon paper and I've got this, and sadly, even when it's traced, it still doesn't look. I mean, it looks better than what I was doing freehand, but it doesn't look perfect still. It never, when you trace something, it never looks as good. At least when I trace something, it never looks as good as the original art that you were trying to trace. Okay, so there we've traced that pumpkin. And then let's do this one. I'm just tracing. Sorry, I should be talking to you guys, I guess. I'm just focusing. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, two pumpkins. Better than my really bad pumpkin up here. My pumpkin is squishy. This is what is wrong with my pumpkin, is that it's squishy, it doesn't come far enough down. Anyway, don't look at my pumpkin, only look at the ones that look good. On this channel, we have a very strict rule. Only look at what looks good, and if it, if it looks like a child has done it, then just pretend a child did it. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way, and we're going to take this pumpkin, and we're going to use this rasp, and this is a kitchen rasp that you use to make like lime zest or lemon zest for a recipe to zest a lime or a lemon. Well, we are zesting this pumpkin, which you have seen me do before. And it doesn't take very much zest to make paint. And these pumpkins are not very big. And as a general rule of thumb, you guys have heard me say before that the smaller amount of material that you're trying to turn into paint, the faster it is to make paint out of it. Look, I've got little pumpkin shavings sort of going everywhere. I'm going to add to this a drop or two or three of water, and then a pinch of ascorbic acid, which is just vitamin C. And ascorbic acid, you've heard me say 1,000 times, is on the canning aisle at the grocery store. I may also just put in a touch of citric acid, which you can also buy on the canning aisle of the grocery store. Both of those are used in when you're canning and bottling food at home. Okay, so, and then this is the muller, and this is the muller plate. It's just a glass muller. They're inexpensive. You can get it on Amazon. You guys, if you have been with us on this channel before, you've heard me say all of this before. So And then I'm just using this to grind. I'm not grinding too hard, but we do need to grind this material up. And if it's too wet, it doesn't grind very well. And if it's too dry, it doesn't grind very well. So I just use this little spray dollar from the spray bottle from the $1.25 store. It sprays about 1 drop at a time, which is perfectly what we need. Because if we get it too wet, it's going to dilute our paint really quickly. You add too much water to any paint or pigment, and we're just doing watercolor. So we're using our botanical material as the pigment. As opposed to adding like gum arabic or M-cell, which is what I call methyl cellulose, which is made out of pine trees, or glare, which is made of eggs, or there's all kinds of ingredients, natural ingredients that you can add to make paint, and that's all discussed in detail in my book, 1,000 Botanical Colors, which I saw the cover of for the first time the other day. The publisher sent me the cover. And so I don't know if we're gonna end up calling it 1,000 Botanical Colors, or if we're gonna end up calling it exactly the amount of, which will be closer to 1,500, which is what's in the book. So, by the time you guys see this video, all these questions will probably be answered. All right, so now what I've had to do up here is I've had to label that one of these is made with pumpkin, and then I thought we should make one with marigold so we can do a side-by-side comparison. I did this a few minutes ago. I was very heavy-handed. I'm gonna try hard not to be that heavy-handed this go around. So that's all I've done is grind that pumpkin with the molar and some water. And I'm trying not to, I want to leave a little bit of white because on this picture that I grabbed off the internet, they are leaving some shadowing there and the way that they have done their shadowing is by not painting in those spots, so that there is some white that shines through that looks like light is gleaming off of there, and I think this looks really nice. And I also love the blue and green around the edges. And I don't know where I got this from. I just typed in watercolor pumpkin and this is what came up. So whoever's art this is, it just came right up. So there's the basic pumpkin that we've just made with actual pumpkin, which, this is why I love to do this, because it's just fun. And it hardly took any pumpkin because I only zested a tiny bit, and it's still sitting there in a pile. So now we've made this pumpkin out of this pumpkin. Do you guys think that's as fun as I do? I just think that's super fun. Okay, now I have, because it's Thanksgiving, there are no marigolds, but I picked all the marigolds and dried them so we can have marigolds to paint with over the winter. I have a lot of dried flowers, just and bark and leaves and all sorts of things. And again, because this is orange responds well. Marigold and pumpkin both respond well to a little ascorbic acid. And if you want the color to be a little brighter, you add citric acid. You need to add ascorbic acid or else, which again is vitamin C powder. And if you just have a vitamin C like tablet, you could crush a tiny bit of that up. That would work too. And you need that ascorbic. Otherwise, after a couple of weeks, this orange from the marigold or the pumpkin will turn brownish. But if you add ascorbic to it, which is what you use ascorbic for when you're canning too, it really preserves the color. Like when we bottle peaches, we don't ever put vitamin C in. We don't put ascorbic acid in, and then sometimes the peaches at the very top of the jar where there's a little bit of air turn brown. And they wouldn't do that if we would put ascorbic acid in, but I just don't ever think about it. I never remember to put it in, even though I have a whole bag of ascorbic acid that me and my friends split a bunch of ascorbic acid because we're all everybody cans and preserves and bottles. And over the last 10 years, we've been trying to do it sort of together. I mean, of course, we don't do all of it together, but we try to do some together. Like this year, we did apple cider together. But anyway, you guys probably don't care about that. I'm just jabbering on while I make this. This is the marigold, and you just saw me mix that in. And did I put citric acid in? I was busy talking to you guys, and now I can't remember, but I think I did put citric acid in. It looks like I put citric acid in. So I'm going to take, now this is the pumpkin that was made with the pumpkin, and this is the marigold. I'm going to take some of this marigold and paint it on here. This pumpkin right here is at a little bit different angle. I thought these were both fun little pumpkin pictures. Again, I'll put them over here so you can see. I accidentally printed this one in color. I should have printed them both in color. And then you guys could have seen how nice they were, but I don't know. They seemed doable and fun. And I didn't want anything too complicated because I'm not trying to make fine art here. I'm just trying to do something fun and relaxing. At the end of the day, it is almost 10 o'clock at night, and it is freezing cold where I live in the Rocky Mountains. And I have been outside working all day. I spent most of the day building this studio thing, which I really hope is going to help us. And then I spent the last half of the day. Last year, I built these life-size wooden reindeer, and the wind came and destroyed them. I put them out on the front lawn for Christmas, and the wind came and destroyed them. So they have been waiting all year for me to do restoration on them. So I've been doing that this week because soon it will be time to put those things back out. So I finished all the restoration of the reindeer today. You guys, again, may not care about any of this, but I'm just talking to you while I'm painting this on here. I restored the reindeer, and now they need to be painted. And of course, I'm going to make homemade paint from scratch to do that because that's what I do, right? And it's going to be exterior paint. It will be, I'm sure I'll do milk paint. So maybe if I have time, I'll try to film something about that. Okay, and so this is made with the marigold, and I put 2 layers on there, and now I'm putting a second layer of what is made with just the pumpkin. And just putting it on. If I put a second layer on, it's just going to brighten this up a little bit. And that's kind of my goal, and putting another layer on. And then we'll let that dry. Now, these are, maybe acceptable the way they are. I mean, almost surely they are acceptable the way they are, but I thought on these, it would be fun to do the green at the top and do some shading at the bottom. And the way that I did that, and I did it with too big of a brush, so this time I'm going to do it with a smaller brush, but the way I did that was with rose petals. So I have a whole bag of rose petals. This is a big old bag of red rose petals, and we only need 1 or 2 because we're just making a tiny bit. In fact, that rose petal right there is so big that we could probably just use that one. And it grinds up better if you kind of rip it to pieces. And then we want to put some water here. And then because we are not trying to make red. Now, if we were trying to make red out of rose petals, we would do citric acid and that would make a kind of a burgundy red. And if we add some cream of tartar, that will make it more of a Christmas red. But we're not trying to do that. We're trying to do green. And so to do green, we're going to do hydrated lime. And if we do a little bit of hydrated lime, like just the tiniest amount of hydrated lime, it turns this purple instead of red. And if we add more, it turns it green. So we're going to see if this turns green or purple. And I don't know if you guys could see that, but it was starting to turn green and then I crushed it a little more and now it's starting to turn purple. So I'll show it to you purple and then we will turn it green by adding a little bit more. Hydrated lime is a form of calcium that has been heated. Well, it is just calcium that has been heated to about 2000 degrees. And then once it's been heated to 2000 degrees, it's the base of what they make concrete out of is calcium. And then and it's kind of dangerous to breathe. So they put some water on it to change its chemical composition a little bit, make it a little bit safer. And that's why it's called hydrated lime, because they put water on it and then they dry it out. And that way it's not so, what in chemistry they call anhydrous. It's not so dangerous. It's not so, because when you have, I mean, I suppose hydrated lime is still somewhat anhydrous, but it's not as unstable as quicklime is. Do you guys care about any of this? Or am I just talking? But anyway, I'm just explaining to you what this all is because we're going to put, so when I say we're going to put hydrated lime in here, I don't want you to think that we're talking about citrus, which I'm growing in my greenhouse. And the limes are ripe right now, but that's not the kind of lime we're talking about. We're talking about lime as in calcium, as in chemistry. Okay, so again, we need, I've just put 1 drop of water on here because if we get it too wet, it's going to ruin it. And if we make it too dry, it's going to make it too hard to, use this muller to kind of grind it into a paste. And so you want to be always careful because I'm adding 1 drop at a time because I can always add another drop. But if I add too much, then it's going to require more work to get that out. And it's easier to just add 1 drop of water at a time. Okay, so you can see that that is kind of a purpley red. And then we're going to add more of this hydrated lime, which again, a form of calcium, because I don't want you guys to think we're doing something here because I'm only using natural ingredients. And if you are, oh, and see, look at that, it's like magic. Ta-da! It turns green. Okay. Now I've still got a little of the purple on my spatula, so I'm going to take this. Got to clean the spatula because I don't want to mix them. And I'm just trying to move this out of my way. And always wipe the muller off because you don't want that stuff drying on your muller. And then I'm just going to spray a little water on here so I can wipe this clean. Today, by the way, not the day I'm posting this video because I've made more than a dozen videos and I haven't posted any of them yet. But one of these days, you guys, I'm going to post these out into the world and let you guys see them. But I just keep practicing a little bit because I'm a lot more confident at making botanical paint than I am at making videos about botanical paint, if that makes any sense. So now I'm trying to think, we need a liner brush. We've got to be so careful because I don't want these big globby lines again. And what I've got is big globby everything. And I don't know where my good liner brush is. So I'm going to put you guys on pause and go find it. Okay, I found my good liner brush. It was in with the pottery stuff, of course. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, crazy. Um, so then I've just wet this a little bit, and then I'm going to take some of this green paint that we made with rose petals and try hard. I'm going to try hard not to make this so glumpy as it is up here. Okay. It'd probably help if I would wear my glasses and then I could actually see. But then I'd have to go find my glasses. I need to find a pair of glasses and just put them here in this new little studio I have built. And then I will have a pair of glasses here so that I can see what I'm doing. I wonder if it makes a world of difference if you can actually see what you're doing, do you think? Maybe we'll find out one of these days. Okay, what do you guys think? I mean, this one is bigger so you can't see it. This one is so tiny that you can't hardly see it, and I'm thinking I would like to make this a little more visible. Okay, I kind of like that. And then I want to take some of this rose petal and let's either make a red or a purple and kind of shade these a little bit. So I guess we'll use another leaf, another petal, red rose petal, and put some water in this. And I don't know why my water thing is leaking. Maybe I just don't have it screwed down tight enough. And um, 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 I'm trying to think. Let's put a little bit of ascorbic into the rose petal, and definitely we've got to have citrus. If you want red rose petals to have red paint color, the only way I've ever found to do that is with citric acid. I've never been able to get any other mordant to work. Mordants are just these natural chemicals, naturally occurring chemicals like citric acid. We call those mordants. In the world of pigments, paints, and dyes, those are called mordants. Okay, and you can see that that's making kind of a nice red. All right, let's scrape that up. I haven't ground all of it up just for the sake of time because you don't really, for the purpose of this video, you don't need to sit and watch me grind that whole thing to death. It would have taken maybe another minute. Okay. Then let's take the same liner brush and get some of this good red out here. And let's just see if I can make this. We should have a contest. Do we think that I can do this and make it look good? I mean, that doesn't look terrible, does it? You all get to be the judge, internet. And again, this is just, see, I'm going to get heavy-handed. This is my problem. That's what they say about art, is knowing when to stop is the whole challenge of art, is knowing when to stop. Okay. But don't you agree that that looks better with some little outliney on it? All right. I don't know. I like those. Okay. And I don't know why, but I just don't like it when things are floating in space. So I'm always wanting to just anchor it to the earth. And I shouldn't have used the liner brush for this because it's not really working swell, but too late now. I wonder if we could paint some little, do you think we could do some, like some grass? Or see now, or am I just doing too much? Need a little water. So again, this green paint that you're seeing going on here is just rose petal, except that, I don't know, I like the grass. What do you guys think? Green paint, rose petal with the calcium hydrated lime added in there. I don't know, I like that, you guys. Now I want to take this and just paint Happy Thanksgiving. Happy. This paint is starting to dry out a little bit, so happy. Thanksgiving. If you're not in America, we have this holiday. I think lots of countries do. I know Canada does. I don't think theirs is on the same day as ours. Maybe it is. I don't know. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, come on, you guys. I love that. What do you guys think? Anyway, so this pumpkin was painted with this orange that was made from this actual pumpkin. As you just saw, this is the smallest pumpkin I could find out of the garden because obviously I'd have a small space to work with here. And and then this one is made with this dried marigold. And you can see that both of these had a little citric acid and both of them had ascorbic acid, and this one is more orange than this one. And thank goodness they both look better than this. So you guys don't look at this, just pretend that I didn't do all of that. But this looks pretty good, I think. I actually like these little dots of paint that I put on here quite by accident earlier. And so I think maybe we should just add a bit more. It always adds a little bit of an ethereal quality just to add some dots and some splatters, don't you think? And again, my whole thing is that I'm always overdoing everything, so I'm probably going to put too many splatters on here, but we've got all this paint, we might as well. I don't know, I like it. I like it a lot. What do you guys think? Wherever you are in the world, I hope that you have a minute to be thankful for whatever's going on. Hopefully there are good things in your life, that you have a warm place to be. If it's cold where you are, like it is here, hopefully you have a warm place to be. Hopefully you've got enough food to eat. Hopefully you've got enough sufficient amount of money to pay your bills. And you've got some kind of job that makes you smile and makes you happy. And you've got people in your life that make you happy. And hopefully you are that person to somebody, you know. Hopefully you are the person that makes some people smile, your spouse, your children, your friends. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and thank you for being with me to paint with pumpkins, paint pumpkins with pumpkins and marigolds and roses in the brand new studio. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you on this channel soon. Bye bye.